of the most popular plants that we're seeing today is succulents. And because of our textural influence that we're seeing in floral design, succulents have become one of these not necessarily overused, but they're used a lot, which is really great. We're seeing cactus in this influence too. We're seeing foliages coming in, but that's what's really fun about our industry and how floral design changes and it evolves according to what products become popular. So we're seeing succulents all over the place. Again, my passion is jewelry and I love doing that. So I want to show you how to do a succulent necklace, and I'm going to show you how to kind of convert that into a wristlet or a cuff. But our mechanics that we want to start with, first of all, is that we need some type of a choker or a collar. This is a wire frame that you can buy at most jewelry supply locations, and it's just a really sturdy wire framework that we're going to start with. We want to start by taking, the easiest thing that I found is just a ribbon disc and taking that off the ribbon. And I want to create a platform because we're going to glue all of our succulents in. And if you look at our succulents, I've got a great variety of sedums here and some different other succulents, echiverias, etc. But they become kind of heavy if you use a lot. So we want to create a base that we're able to really adhere to and really glue to. And to me, that's really, really essential. It comes down to the mechanics and the importance of mechanics. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace the framework of my choker just around, because we're going to cut this out, this piece of cardboard, because cardboard is porous. Rules of glue, you got to have something porous to glue to. So cardboard is really porous. So I'm just going to cut this out. And it is porous, but this also has a coating on it. So then I also want to kind of cover my mechanics a little bit. So we're going to use some ribbon. Here I just have a really pretty ribbon, and we're going to use some U-glue. So mechanic-wise, cut a couple pieces. You can use dashes, whatever U-glue you have. And I'm just going to put it on the end of my cardboard to start, like so. And then peel that off. And then I'm going to take my ribbon, and you can use any ribbon you want. It's really not going to show other than to the back, so you don't have to worry too much about that. I'm just going to wrap around. And you just continually wrap this around until it's completely covered. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. It doesn't have to be perfect because, again, we're just using it as a mechanic, basically, to glue to, but I also want the back just to be a little bit nicer. Once you get to the other end, then you use your other piece of glue, stick that on there, pull off that tab, and just continue until it sticks. So I'm covering the whole thing, all right? So when you have that done, you end up with a disc like this. And it's completely covered, and then I covered it with bouillon just to make sure that everything is nice and secure and tight, because now we're going to use the bouillon as a mechanic. So I'm going to take my bouillon, and I have silver. You can use whatever color you want to incorporate with this, and I just want to reattach this to my wire framework just to give me some stability. And we're going to attach it then to our disc. So I'm just going to lay my disc. And you want to make sure that it's centered on where you want. It still will slide a little bit, but I want to take my disc then and keep your bouillon pretty tight and just start wrapping that around. And what it's going to do then is it's going to adhere to the choker. So we'll just keep wrapping. And I do this a couple times. I go to one side, make sure it sticks to the other side. And just keep wrapping that bouillon around until it goes to that wire framework perfectly. And then I come back around again. Because I've got my little tie off on this opposite side, we're going to use that. And make sure that our tie off, that wire binding, is going to be on the top so that you don't stick someone to the back. And that's the important part of jewelry, is making sure that if you're using any wire of any kind, it has to be hidden and dissipated into the design. Otherwise, it cannot stick anybody. We don't want to donate any kind of blood during our project. So as you can see, we've added this to this. Now this is my whole gluing mechanism to all of this. And this is what's really kind of fun. I'm going to use Oasis adhesive. And the easiest way to do this really is to dip and stick. That means put it in a little pile. And I don't have, oh yeah, let's do this. Be prepared to dry. So let's do, if I do a little pile of glue, and then you can use a variety of different types of plants. And right now, this time of year, there's stonecrop sedums, which are huge. And I like using these just because they're so delicate and they're so pretty, and they come in all different colors. So we have, this is the bronze carpet sedum, which is really kind of fun. This one is, this little tiny one is, it's called succulent sedum. I have one also, this, I think it's just, this comes out of my backyard. I love this one because this one is that blue spruce sedum. As you can see, it's got that bluey tone to it. There's all types of echeverias and things. One of the things that I just love, I love this plant, and it doesn't grow very fast, but this is a watermelon succulent. And this little string of watermelon, it's in the same family as like string of pearls or string of bananas, all these different types of thing. What it has is these are called subglobulus or subglobulus, I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, leaves. So they make this little round form and they kind of create this, but the variegation on this is fabulous. If you see it really close, it has a little bit of a burgundy stripe to it. So this is really fun to add depth and texture to that. So we're just going to glue right to this. And when I start, I kind of start in the very center. And I'm just going to kind of find my central axis area. And I'm going to put some glue there. And then I just start adding, oh my gosh, it just depends on what you want to use. So just taking little bits of sedum and just start laying that across. And I'll work that all the way around. And I like to use them in groups. What I find is that then I make sure that I get it dispersed throughout the design that I want to create. And then I'll go back in with some different materials. Let me set this on here. So by adding some other textural materials, you got to keep an eye on your texture and making sure your texture is just fabulous. So that textural balance, if it's on one side, put it on the other side. That's the balance and repetition in your design, and that's what you want to do. So I just keep adding that to it until you get all the way around and keep developing it and doing it in layers. And once that's done, you can add bits and pieces of larger succulents. This is an echiveria you could do. Very, very easy. Oh, let me show you this. Oh, I just get really excited about this. But this is all of it tucked in. So it's all the different textures. You can see you have that string of watermelon pieces just tucked in just to give me some volume. I needed some because everything is so small and tiny, but the textures are fabulous. But then, oh my gosh, you add these little globular pieces and it's just amazing to me. To be able to create something like this and to be able to wear it again, oh, it's fabulous. But just that idea of being able to do a necklace is really kind of fun. But you can also do this very simply on a cuff. So here I have just a metal cuff. I like these cuffs just because I can do so many different things to them. But this is just a metal cuff that you get at any floral wholesaler. And what I like to do, isn't this fabulous? Again, something that go down your wrist, something for prom or for weddings or whatever you want to do. Just love it, love these textures. Let me set that down. But again, this is simple. I've made other corsages before that are done with cuffs. You take a strip of glue, center that, put that on there, because I need something to glue to. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. Glue won't stick very long to metal. So, but this glue, this U-glue from Smithers Oasis sticks to anything. So attaching it to metal, and then you're going to glue right to this. Now, of course, some things are going to stick automatically, but you've got to put some glue on here. And then you just start adding your materials that you want to do. Again, whether it's some of the drapiness that you want, that glue does help, or the U-glue helps too. but just adding that and making sure you got Oasis adhesive on there so that it's going to continue. And it's just like developing a design. The same as this, you've got to have your draw your eye in. You have to have some kind of a focal area to give that to us. So if you look, I have the echiveria. I took the tip out of the echiveria, which is this succulent, and tuck that right down into the center. You can recreate it by just using leaves, whatever you want to do. But we have a line movement that's established. We have a focal point. All of our textures work in and play off of one another. This is pretty, it's got a little bit of a gray tone and a burgundy tone to it, but it's pretty monochromatic. So it's all about the textures that make that important. So making sure that you have textures all the way through, that you use some impeccable material, because this will last forever. It's a very long time frame. Succulents, they want to thrive, they want to live, so they're going to last forever. So thinking about whether you're going to make a necklace or a cuff for prom, whatever it is, just use your imagination and have some fun things done with succulents.